G'day, everyone. Sorry, I was just running a little bit late there. It's been a busy sort of week for me and Anne this week. And yeah, there's been some interesting developments out there. Like this week, we had to go through the process of the government wedding to actually get married here in Thailand. So that was a process in itself. And for those like Australians, I don't know about every country, but I know to get married as an Australian here in Thailand, there's a bit of a process that you actually have to follow. And one of the processes is that you have to go to the Australian embassy to get married in Thailand. So there's two ways of getting married here. You can just do like the Buddhist wedding and things like that, or Christian wedding, whatever wedding you're going to have. But yeah, getting married here, they're not legally recognized. So you'll have to go to the district office and actually get married. And we got a few different quotes to try and get married. That's why I thought I'd talk about marriage today, because there's a few people that want to get married in Thailand. And yeah, so to start off with, and sorry, I should stop myself there for a second, because I should just say hello and welcome to anyone that wants to watch this particular live stream or watch it after I log off. And so in today's live stream, I am going to talk a little bit about getting married in Thailand, but also the Thai visa system that the process that you actually had to go through to get married, plus some of the latest Thai visas that have come out, which I thought were quite interesting. So that's what this sort of live stream is going to be about. If other people come on, I might talk about other topics as well. And okay, to start off with, let's just break it down before I just start rambling. All right, so me and Anne wanted to officially, legally marry in this country. So what we needed to do was actually get documentation together to be able to legally marry under the Thai government. Now, for an Australian, you have to legally actually show, and I'll take these glasses off for a sec, you have to legally show you are single. And if you've been divorced, you have to have the original divorce certificate. And you have to book a time with the Australian embassy to go down and get what's called a CNI certificate. And that certificate is to pretty much tell the Thai government that you are legally single in Australia and allowed to get married. And so what we had to do was book a time with the Australian embassy. We had to go all the way down to Bangkok to do this. So we went down to Bangkok, we booked a time in the Australian embassy, and what I had to provide on the day was I had to have my passport with me. I had to have the CNI form completely filled in before I went in there. I took my birth certificate in as a backup. I had a single certificate from Australia, but they didn't really need that. And on the day, I had to actually download a copy of my divorce certificate in front of the Thai embassy staff so they could see I was downloading it from an official site. So they printed out my divorce certificate. They did copies of my divorce certificate, my birth certificate, my passport, and they certified all these documents, and they produced a certified they printed all those, gave them to me, as well as they provided the CNI certificate, which was certified, stamped by the Australian embassy. Now, I needed those documents to legally get married in the country. That process cost me about 4,000 baht to do that with the Australian embassy down there. And they were pretty efficient and pretty good and patient with me as well and helped me out. Now, then from that point, we got a few quotes on people that could help us do the process with the local district office here. And we didn't know how we were going to do this in Chiang Mai. Like we went to Settlement Abroad at first, got a quote from them. Their quote was pretty high to get them to help me to do all the paperwork to just get married. And it wasn't for the marriage visa. This is just to get married. And but yeah, theirs was really high. And I'm not going to say numbers. But what I ended up paying for I went with Star Visa because other people recommended that I use Star Visa instead. And so I went to Star Visa and they said we'll do all the paperwork for you. And already had her documents and had a single document that she got from her local district office when we're out in Royette, to show that she was actually legally single. And she had her Thai ID and she had her passport. And so I took my passport and all the documents I got from the Australian Embassy that were certified, gave them a Star Visa. And what they did, I paid Star Visa in total. It was, they quoted 8,000 baht, but it ended up costing 10,000 baht. And what Star Visa did to get legally married in this country, they did all the paperwork. They didn't book at the district office in Chiang Mai, because they said that district office in Chiang Mai was actually quite a big waiting list. Like originally, Settlement Abroad said, oh, you'd be waiting 2 months to get legally married in Thailand, where I went to Star Visa and they said, we can do it for you in 2 weeks. And so, but what they did, they booked the district office down in Mae Rim. And on the day we actually were getting married on Friday, we actually went to the Chiang Mai district office and they said, no, the Mae Rim one. So we had to get in our car again and drive further down. Luckily, we didn't do the Chiang Mai district office, because that was freaking crowded as hell. Where the Mae Rim district office, to do all your legal paperwork for getting married, was actually quite cheap. Well, not cheap. I won't say cheap. I mean, I will use the wrong word there. I mean, it was empty. So there was no lineup really. And they had us booked in. They had a time locked in. It was really good. And they were fast, efficient, had all the rubber stamping getting done really quickly. I had all my documents and had her documents. They had already lodged all the paperwork for us, booked in a time. And within about 30 minutes of being there, they had all the documentation done. And we were legally married as per the Thai government. And so initially it was quoted 8,000, but we ended up paying 10,000 baht. So that's what I'm coming back to there. So it wasn't that hard to get legally married in this country when it comes to doing all the government processes. And you probably could do it yourself. I just thought, no, I wanted to just pay someone and get it all done. And Star Visa had looked after me before. They'd got my Thai driver's license. And they're going to help us out from some other stuff that we're doing with building our house as well here in Chiang Mai, which hopefully our house will be completed at the end of June, we're being told. So let's wait and see what that actually looks like. And so we were very excited, and we went up to this nice mountain resort up in Mae Rim as well afterwards. And the mountain resort up in, was it Penny, I forget the name of the place, but I've done a whole video on it that I've put up also in my channel. But it was a great mountain resort, and I really enjoyed it up there. They had a range of activities, but we didn't engage in all the different activities there. We just relaxed in the mineral pool. We relaxed in the pools there. We just enjoyed the room. We had a nice dinner there, and pretty much chilled just in this mountain retreat, because it's just surrounded by complete nature. And it was 3,000 baht to stay in that resort up in there in Mae Rim, though it cost about 1,500 baht for our dinner or something fairly high. But breakfast was included in there. But they did make nice cocktails by the pool, I must admit. I did enjoy that up there. So if you needed to get away, watch that other video that I actually put up on the actual resort itself. And there's also a little bit about us going through this marriage process. So we did dress up on the day because we wanted to go out and do some things together and get some nice photos taken. And we're probably going to do some more post-wedding photos where we might dress up traditionally as well, which we knew we could do out in the Night Bazaar area. I think they've got some areas where you can do some nice photos. But we did use one of the tailors out there just to get some trousers made, some shirts made. And they were pretty good too. They were pretty good quality. And Anne got her dress made out there as well. And one of the previous videos show you exactly where we actually did get our custom made suit, well, trousers and shirt made for me, and Anne's dress made. Now, so if you're looking at getting married here, check with your own embassy what you need, what documents you're actually needing, because each country could be a little bit different. And then maybe just check with some of the local visa services, because though you could do it yourself, and Anne thought she could do it herself, she just goes, sometimes it can be a little bit complex with some of the Thai government processes here. And so it's sometimes handy just to pay someone that knows what they're doing to just do it for you. And so if you look at it, it was 10,000 baht for Star Visa doing everything, and 4,000 baht for me to do all the documents down in the Australian embassy. So that's 14,000 baht it cost us in total to get legally married in this country. And but some of the quotes were just ridiculous, like really high. And later down the track, I'll probably do a marriage visa as well when my current one expires. All right. Outside of that, yeah, do tell me your experiences regarding getting married in Thailand, and whether you had any complexities of actually going through the process. And the reason we wanted to do the legal marriage is that we didn't want to go through and do the big Thai wedding with sinside and everything, because I didn't believe in sinside. I didn't believe in dowry. And I was always clear with that on Anne, that that's not something I believed in. I'd prefer to invest in things like real estate, creating a good, strong future. And that's where I wanted to put money, not into all the other stuff. And her family were quite understanding and accepting of that, and just allowed me and Anne to do whatever we wanted to do for us, which, yeah, I'm very grateful for the family's support in that regard. They didn't try to push anything onto us. They just said, if you two are happy, do whatever you guys want to do when it comes to getting married. Outside of that, now the next thing I wanted to sort of discuss was some of the new visas coming out. And the reason I wanted to look at them, and I did write some notes on these because they were quite interesting, and they've been all over the news. Like, you look at it out there, that digital nomads have been wanting different types of visas for years, and some of the ones that they've used they've used all sorts of weird and wonderful visas while they continued to work online, or they had their businesses overseas. And some of the more expensive ones were the Thai Elite visa, for example. But there's never been that official digital nomad type visa. Now, when you're looking at visas here in this country, I would say consult with one of the visa companies like Star Visa. And again, I'm not getting paid for promoting Star Visa. I just like their services. They're always just been really excellent with me. And I have consulted a few times with Settlement Abroad in Chiang Mai here, and they've been great with me too, in regards to giving me some proper advice on different things that I wanted to know about. And I believe in Bangkok, you've got Integrity Legal, which are also very good at giving advice on visas as well. But some of the visas that have just come out as of June 1st look quite curious. And how they're going to actually work in practice, I don't know. I really don't. And but some of the ones that I sort of like the idea is that they've added more countries to the free visa entry. Like, for example, countries before used to, now there's like 93 different countries. They're almost like double the number of countries that can come in visa free with no charge. And it used to be 30-day visas, and then someone would do the exemption. But now they're doing 60-day visas to come into Thailand, which is really awesome when the current is only 30. And I think that's really to boost tourism in this country, and maybe to stop a bit of those border runs as well. But I'm not going to go too much into that because I'm no visa expert, but I think it's very exciting for people that want to travel here and spend a bit of extra time here in this country. And other sorts of changes, which are kind of interesting, is the destination Thailand visa. Tell me what you guys think about this destination Thailand visa, because it sounds like it's something that's been created for digital nomads alike. And I did do a quick video on that earlier in the week. And I've watched a few things, like gone on to the Pattaya news. I've gone on to, I've watched stuff on the Thaiger, and I've also watched stuff on Integrity Legal where they're talking about it. And everyone seems to be a little bit cautious on how this new sort of visa is going to work. But the general interpretation of it seems to be is that with that destination Thailand visa, or the DTV, is that you're going to get 180 days, right? And you could use that during that 5-year period, and you could extend it for another 180. 80 days. So in that 5-year period, you could have 2 lots of 180 days. Of course, there's costs for extending it beyond that 180 days, but the initial 180 is like a 10,000 baht application. Now, it sounds like it's going to be very popular for digital nomads, but what that's going to look like in practice, from all the stuff I've been reading and the stuff I've been hearing about it, it's still not tested yet. So we don't know what it's going to look like. It could be like musicians traveling here, people attending conferences, medical tourism, people wanting to participate in local Thai culture like Muay Thai or cooking classes. It sounds like that it could be quite an interesting sort of visa in itself. But I still want to see how it goes with people applying for it. But in future, if any of you guys do apply for this DTV, this Destination Thailand visa, then yeah, it'd be very interesting to hear about the experiences and what happened to you guys when you apply for those types of visas. And the other types of visas are some of the changes to the retirement visa, which is quite interesting. Like initially, from what I understand on the OA visas, was that they're saying from September 1st, this is going to change, that it used to be about 3 million baht or something you needed in medical insurance with 400,000 before, but now it's something like 400. It's going down to 400,000 baht for inpatient and 40,000 baht for outpatient medical insurance. So it seems like the cost of medical insurance is going down a lot for retirees, which is quite good, I think. And I've still got to decide whether in a couple of years whether I'm going to go down the pathway of the retirement visa or the marriage visa. But if you've been living in this country and you are married to a Thai person, even in the discussion below, what would you guys consider to be the better visas to go if you're living here long term? The marriage visa or the retirement visa, if you're going to stay here long term? That I'll be very curious to hear whether there's what you guys find is easy. I've heard some people say the paperwork for the retirement visa is a lot easier if you haven't got kids. And though me and Anne don't have any kids between us yet, we do have a stepson who's 16 going on 17. So yes, if we've got kids, apparently it's pretty easy, the marriage visa. But overall, we're halfway there because we've done the legal marriage here in Thailand. So it wouldn't be that much extra effort to do the marriage visa itself. We're just got to have the relevant savings behind us. And the only reason why I would think the marriage visa would probably be better is because I understand you could tap onto it a work visa if you wanted to work here. Where I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you can work if you're under a retirement visa if you're trying to get a job here as well, and working in this country like as an English teacher or something. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Now, I'm not going to stay too long today on here because we've done a lot over the last few days and we've been quite busy getting ready for all this, getting all the marriage documents together and going through the visa company to sort everything out and having our relaxing day away. And today has been pretty much a lazy day for the two of us. And Anne's downstairs with her family at the moment, doing some cooking, I think. I don't know, Thai people are always eating. And but yeah, if you guys have any questions at all regarding getting married here in Thailand on a legal, legally through the district office, do feel free to ask some questions below, and me and Anne will explain, me or Anne could explain to you the process quite clearly around how we did it. And it's not that hard. It's not that complex if you're getting legally married here. Just remember that doing the local Buddhist wedding is not going to be a legal marriage here. From what I understand, you still have to go to your local district office and actually register that marriage in itself. But I'm happy we did the legal registration because that's just handy for us generally when we've got to do some other documents regarding even after we build our house and stuff like that, and putting my name against some certain documents associated with where we're going to be living. But yeah, so again, ask any questions that you want regarding either living in Thailand here, just generally, or getting married in Thailand. But it was a great experience. I'm very happy that me and Anne have finally done it, because we had known each other for about 4 years. We had dated online for a while, and then we met in person. We were initially friends, and then it developed into something pretty quickly. And yeah, been together ever since on that one. But yeah, unless there's some questions here on anything to do with living in Thailand or getting married, I'll probably wrap it up pretty soon, because I've got a few other things to do right now. So I thought I'd just jump in for a quick check-in, see how you guys are going, and if there was a bit of a conversation going, then I'll have a chat. And if there is topics that you want me to log in and talk about in future, I'm happy to, because I've lived here for a while now, since 2021, and I've loved the journey being here, and I have no intentions of going back to Australia anytime soon, unless it's for a holiday. And me and Anne had some various projects that we're working on, including building our house here in Chiang Mai and a farm out in Ubon Ratchathani. And I'm always open to building connections with other expats living here that are going through similar experiences, or and how they're building as well. And building's a process too. Oh yeah, going on to building a house here. You will, if you get one of those sort of house and land packages buying here, they're pretty standard, a house and land package. They'll tell you everything's included. They'll even show you some examples of what you're going to get and all that sort of stuff. But again, you can't, as a Westerner, you can't own house and land here, but you can do a leasehold against it. But you've got to watch the builders. You've got to constantly be on their back, because there's going to be things that you might want to modify on the plans, things that you might want to adjust, and there's sometimes delays in the building process. And so in this process where we've been building the house, we've had to constantly go out there, visit, watch what the electricians are doing, watch what the tilers are doing, sometimes go out and buy our own particular items that we want installed in the house when we've been wanting to customize stuff. So we've been going to places like Index and some Global House and some other big places here in Chiang Mai to actually get different sorts of building material and equipment that we wanted for the house. Like we picked different sorts of range hoods. We picked our kitchen sink. We bought a bathtub, some sort of extra things we wanted. We even selected some of the tiles that we wanted. We put an extension onto the house so we could have a Western style kitchen instead of an outdoor Thai kitchen. So when you buy a house, if you're buying a package, a lot of them are doing the outdoor kitchen. And unless you're specifically wanting an indoor kitchen, I would say make sure you check the plans of the house you're going to build, because the chances are you might find them wanting to build an outdoor kitchen, which is not uncommon here. But as a Westerner, I wanted an indoor kitchen, and so we did a big extension going out so that we could get that indoor kitchen. And so yes, I'll probably be out there at the end of the week doing some more filming of the house that we're actually building here in Chiang Mai, and to see where they're up to. They've laid the main road to where they're building all the houses, but they haven't done our driveway. They haven't done the concreting around the house. They've still got a lot of electricals to put in, things to finish off in the kitchen. So there's all these little, to put locks on the doors. They haven't done any of that yet. They've been a bit behind schedule. And so I've got to go out there and maybe just push them a little bit and see what's going on. So I leave that up to Anne, because she's good at talking through that stuff. But out in Ubon Ratchathani, we've got ourselves a farm. And right now it's a rice farm. But I'm going to try and sign up with some different Facebook groups, because I want to do a bit more farming research on the soil out there in Ubon Ratchathani, because right now it's just plain rice, but we want to change it and put some maybe different types of fruit trees there, and maybe even plant some durian trees. That's what we're looking at. And we've got 2 pieces of land there on either side of the road, and on the other side we've got a couple of big dams which we're thinking of putting fish into. So that's a project in itself. We're thinking of eventually breeding some fish there, as well as different types of crops. We don't just want to do rice, we want to do crop rotation as well. And so I'm interested to talk with other sorts of Westerners out here that are doing farming out in that Isan area and making some networks and connections in those areas. And but outside of that, it's yep, I think I'm going to be heading off because I'm a bit talked out today after our busy weekend. I'm going to go spend some quality time with Anne today after our big day on Friday. And yeah, a little weekend up in the mountain. And later down the year, we've got a bit of a honeymoon planned. We still haven't locked in where we're going, whether it's Maldives, Turkey, or Vietnam, or it could be just somewhere in Thailand. We're still tossing up where we just want to go for a week in October, because that's when both our birthdays are, in the October area. But anyway, to everyone out there, have a beautiful day, and look after yourselves out there. And again, feel free to ask any questions about living and surviving in Thailand. And again, goodbye for now.